Hi there, my name is Suze. I'm a divine feminine energy healer and guide. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Let's talk today about being strong and independent and how sometimes that's actually you being in victim mode and you don't even know it. This came up in a client call that I had the past week. This video today, I really would like it to be a little bit brief. I want to plant a seed here that we will nurture and grow as time goes on here on my YouTube channel. At least that is my intention in this moment. But something really powerfully came up in a call with a client last week that I was like, ooh, this is big and I need to bring this out collectively to start planting seeds of transformation and change for other people, shifting your perspective, right? Because that is what happens for growth. There has to be a shift in awareness, an epiphany, a light bulb moment where you're able to see something that you hadn't seen before or see it in a way you hadn't seen it before, to then be able to make different decisions, to then slowly shift and guide and change your life to then manifest the life that you're looking for of emotional fulfillment, deep intimacy and connection in your life, right? So there's been a lot of focus with women, with the feminine, I should say, with the feminines who are actually feminines at their core, but maybe have been pushed for the majority of their lives into living a more masculine frame. Much like myself, I spent a lot, the majority of my life, I spent living in a masculine energy, and I didn't know it until I started studying these things and growing myself. And I was living the most of my life in a very masculine way until I reached a place of massive depression, burnout, and my body physically falling apart, which is often the story for a lot of women. And in the process of healing my physical body and then healing my mind and healing myself spiritually, I recognize that I actually resonate more with having a feminine core energy and living life from a more feminine space. That does not mean I have denied myself my masculine aspect. It simply means I am consistently working on healing both my feminine and my masculine so that they can work together in harmony, so that I can live from a more external world, live in a more feminine space with how I interact in relationships, how I work, how I show up with my children and parenting, how I show up in any relationship. I prefer to be in a more feminine, healing, receptive, nurturing space rather than the masculine space. But like I said, that doesn't mean I'm not using my masculine. And there's a lot of confusion around this. And as we move on in this channel, the videos will be compounding to help create a really beautiful picture for you all to understand what I'm saying. Because I'm recognizing there is a lot of confusion out there about gender and about masculine, feminine. Gender and masculine, feminine energy are two very different things. And just because I am physically a woman, I have the body of a woman, doesn't mean that that's why I resonate more with the feminine core. It's not necessarily that. Generally speaking, the majority of the time that is true, but not always. And it's the same thing with men. A man may actually, at the core of him, be a masculine being, but he also may be a feminine being at his core. It's personal identity. It really is. So anyway, enough about that. I didn't want to go down that pathway today. But for a lot of women that I work with, in my clients, with feminines who are really allowing themselves to finally relax into their feminine essence and really feeling relief and freedom and authenticity shine through with allowing themselves to be feminine, we come from a background of really feeling like we had to be strong and independent for a variety of reasons. There's many reasons why a woman may feel like she has to be the strong, independent type, okay? Many different reasons, and I don't want to get into that right now. You know if this applies to you or not right now. But I have learned that if a woman actually is learning that she actually wants to be more feminine, she wants, her heart craves, and she just desires to be in the pleasure of being in her feminine space and thriving in her feminine energy externally, the strong, independent stuff is the masculine aspect of you that was actually protecting you, because that's what was needed back then. You developed an independent, strong persona, or an independent, strong identity, state of being, and identity as this is who I am, because you had to develop that way back some other time or multiple times in your life where you had to survive and develop this protective shell of independent, strong woman. And it's actually exhausting. And you may be recognizing that. It's exhausting being the independent, strong woman if at your core you really just want to be a soft, feminine, open-hearted, flowing woman. And so any moment in time in your life right now that you recognize you're being triggered into a state of, I gotta be the strong, independent woman right now, you may want to pause for a moment within yourself and ask yourself, is this really what I want to be doing right here? Or is this the victim part of me that's protecting me, but in so doing, I'm not allowing my feminine aspect to be seen and heard and felt? And I see this a lot. I'll give you a real life example. I see this when I'm doing really deep heart space healing in my client calls. And we're talking about a current life situation that is bothering my client. And she's looking for healing and growth and empowerment around a particular situation in her life that she's uncomfortable with and doesn't like, right? And I'm asking her to go deeply into how she feels about something and giving her a space to really bring all the feelings to the surface, and she struggles with it. And I ask her what she needs to feel loved, and she struggles with an answer. And I ask her, how can we bring in support for this need that you're recognizing you have? And she struggles with the idea of letting anyone or anything come in and help and support her, because maybe there's a lack of trust, or maybe there's a fear of disappointment, a fear of being let down, a fear of betrayal, abandonment, whatever it may be. And I can't do that. I always have to figure it out on my own. Any of this sounding familiar? But all of that is actually victim, because you're not actually allowing yourself to step into your feminine power of allowing your feelings to come out. And when I say feelings, I don't mean metaphors. This happens a lot in client calls. Well, how did that make you feel? Well, it made me feel like they didn't care, or it made me feel like I wasn't important, or it made me feel like I wasn't a priority. Those aren't actually feelings. Those are metaphoric expressions. What were the emotions you felt in that situation? I felt unsupported. I felt overlooked. I felt misunderstood. I felt not valued, undervalued. That's what you're looking for. And if you're feeling not seen, not heard, overlooked, unacknowledged, unvalued, unloved, then you got to look within yourself and mirror that back to you. Where am I not allowing my feminineness to come out? Where am I not allowing myself to fully get lost in an experience? There's so much pleasure. When you're in your feminine, you're looking for pleasure. You're looking for everything you have around you to bring you pleasure. I put this orchid here when I do my videos because it gives me a lot of pleasure to look in my camera and see it. It gives me pleasure. It makes me feel feminine. It makes me feel, it's delicate. It feels beautiful. I have this dresser behind me with the raw wood because I love the raw wood of it. It feels natural. It feels grounding. It feels real. And things that feel raw to me feel like it has potential. It's a foundation that you can build on. If something is raw, it's something you can craft and customize into something that speaks to your soul. Are you talking to yourself like that? Are you living your life like that? Are you looking for things around you, experiences around you that feel like that? How intimately connected are you to your life? Or do you not allow yourself to experience that because you're too focused on being strong and independent? And then wondering why you're unhappy with your life, wondering why you're angry, wondering why you're frustrated, you're disappointed. It's because you're not letting your feminine be seen. You're too much in your masculine. The secret to your joy and your freedom and your bliss as a feminine is being in your feminine and letting you feel your feminine as much as possible. And it's an experience within yourself. No one else even has to know. And that's the whole point. Why are you protecting yourself from yourself, the real you? Because it feels unsafe, it feels scary. Yeah, that's wounded masculine talking. Your masculine hasn't created a safe space for you yet to allow yourself to fully feel how everything around you feels. I do a lot of this work with women around food and intuitive eating as well, and creating a menu, an eating plan for your life that feels uniquely aligned with you and how you emotionally feel and how you emotionally associate experiences with food, which is very customized person to person because everyone has different feelings about food. In every aspect of your life, are you willing, in every aspect of your life, your clothes, your relationships, what you watch on TV, what you listen to for music, what you eat, what you choose to do in your free time, what you choose to think about, what you choose to anything? Are you intimately connected and aware of how every little thing makes you feel? And then from there, you craft a life of weaving in all the things that bring you the most pleasure. Pleasure is the root of feminine energy. So if you're not experiencing pleasure in all of the facets of your life, you're not living in your feminine energy. You have denied yourself access to your feminine energy by being stuck in a strong, independent woman archetype, which is actually a victim, because that's the survival response, trauma response, if you want to call it that, survival response of identity that you developed, 1444, the identity, the victim survival identity you developed to survive some traumatic event or multiple events from your past. But it's not who you truly are. And anytime you are not being who you truly are, you are in victim mode because you're surviving your life instead of taking control of your life, taking responsibility for everything you're doing, thinking, participating in, feeling, eating, wearing, looking at, thinking about, reading, whatever it is, things you're putting in your home and you're buying, whatever it is. Are you aware of the pleasure? Are you allowing yourself to fully feel into every experience that you're having in a day? Drawing out the pleasure. And pleasure is a big word. Pleasure is a big word. You, on some day, depending on where you are emotionally, pleasure for one day may be simply to feel at peace and to feel calm and to feel grounded and to feel clear-minded. That might be the pleasure for that day. And on another day, pleasure might be excitement and stimulation and passion, that fiery energy. That might be the pleasure. Or another day, pleasure might be affection and feeling held, feeling tenderness, feeling gentle intimacy, tender intimacy. That might be the pleasure for that day. Are you aware of everything in your life and how you feel about it? And are you crafting a life of pleasure? Or are you too stuck in the strong, independent woman archetype that isn't really who you are? And this message can also spill over into men with a masculine core as well, because they have feminine in them as well. Everyone has the masculine and the feminine. If you're too far into that lone wolf type thing, too far into that independent type thing, you're denying yourself intimacy and connection when we're human, and we all do need that. We do need that. And the more we go into this age of Aquarius, the more and more that's going to become more and more relevant and seen and needed. So I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for being here. Please drop in the comments anything you would love to share with me. I value your input and your comments more deeply than you probably realize. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.